Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you for coming out here. I told you a couple of things earlier in the night when we got started. For the folks at home, this is called a barn storm, when we storm into someone's house and take it over. No, the world's best people live here, and they've hosted us a couple of times, and I love them for it. You guys at home didn't hear, but this is the Rebel Alliance, and I told everybody that in the beginning that I was going to tell you a couple of stories, some exhilarating, some troubling, and the whole time that Catherine, my campaign manager, was talking to you guys about how to volunteer and how we're going to win, I was thinking, should I tell them? Should I tell them? Should I not tell them? And so I decided I'm going to tell you. Of course. I know. Yeah, I can't help myself. Anyway, so I'm tired of wearing jackets. Okay. And this shirt is wrong. This is for the last election. Remember, the 3rd of March. Doesn't have the same ring, but it's true in our case. Okay. Look, it's a hell of a thing running for office, and there's a lot of it that I expected and some that I did not expect. So the things that I expected were that they would attack me in the media. Okay, check. We got that, right? I expected it would be really hard. I expected that we would get a good amount of volunteers because our side actually cares. I expected that they would have more money. All of these expectations have been met and oftentimes exceeded. So they have only a little bit more money than us. We did a great job of raising money, but guys, we definitely should not be overconfident about that, because now is when the real money comes in on their side, and we're just going to get an incremental amount on our side, whereas they're going to pile on now, right before the election. So that's the reality. In terms of the volunteers, Catherine was giving you guys the numbers before. No other campaign ever shares these things, but we do share it with you guys, because as we were saying earlier, you're our senior leadership, right? All of our volunteers are our senior leadership. For the folks at home, look, we've reached over 100,000 people in the district already, and so that's a stunning number. I mean, they just didn't expect that. So every once in a while they'll complain about that. They'll say, "Oh no, you have too many supporters across the country." What a charge, right? Yeah. Okay, fine, guilty. Hey, and I joke around about this. They're like, sometimes people say, "Oh, you're a celebrity." Okay, well, I don't. My bank account doesn't show that, but anyway, if I am in any way a celebrity, what am I a celebrity for? Dancing with the Stars? No. Okay, if you've ever seen me dance, no go. Okay, I think Anna took some video at her wedding, which she every once in a while threatens me with. No, I'm known for being a progressive fighter and for fighting for Democrats and trying to get our side to win, and electorally, but most importantly in bills. If you don't pass bills, you don't change people's lives, and it was all for naught. Okay, so yes, a lot of people have helped, and if you're out there and you're not in this district, yes, we definitely want your help, and we want the other side to cry about it, okay? So the calls that you make, the texts that you send make all the difference. It's not our secret advantage, it is our very public advantage. They've got money, we've got people, okay? So, but there are things I didn't expect. So I didn't expect that I talk about the corruption all the time, so when I tell you that I didn't expect the level of corruption, you're going to say, come on, Cenk, what the hell? I mean, you say it almost every day on the show, right? So no, I get the corruption, and I've talked about it 1,000 times about the lobbyists, the corporations, they give money, and then the folks, the politicians vote with them. It's very rote, standard exercise, right? And by the way, but I don't want to gloss over it, because it's deeply depressing. Because, yeah, they got 100% of the Republican Party. We all know that. The only people who won't acknowledge it are the goddamn people in the media, right? And they've earned that 1,000 times over. Local media actually has been shockingly good to almost great. They're way more open-minded, way more balanced and fair. National media has been horrific, not just to me, but across the board, to all progressives for fucking forever, okay? you can't follow the money. Like, remember Watergate? The whole point was, oh, at the end of the movie, they go, oh, follow the money, okay? And then they immediately forgot it, right? So you don't know that the Republican Party takes money from the NRA and then does what the NRA says? Trump came out of a meeting with the head of the NRA and said, well, he's a big supporter, so I changed my mind. I'm not going to do background checks. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science, right? So we all know that. The only people who won't acknowledge is the media. But it worse yet, unfortunately. Why is it worse? The Republicans are more corrupt, but the Democrats are the only hope we have. They're supposed to be on our side. They're supposed to be the party of workers and the average person, etc. And God, I mean, this race has shown what I knew, but to live it is another thing. It's filled with corruption. And so they all made a decision unilaterally. You look at Christy, my main opponent's, financing, which I have. I just did it earlier today again. It's all Democratic Party, Democratic Party, Democratic Party, corporations. And so why? What does that mean? It means we invested in her. Okay, so why did you invest in her? Well, she's going to do as she's told. But I mean, okay, so what did you tell her? Because she has a funny way of doing it, because in the assembly, she has an F rating from progressives. And I don't mean progressives like, oh my God, diehard burning people, whatever. No, and God bless you all, and I'm part of that group, but Courage California, it's a collection of 100 progressive groups, so including unions, including Color of Change, probably the most effective activist group in the country, Asian American groups, Black women groups, you name it, Courage California has it. They are an amalgamation, and they weigh, and how much do you stick with democratic principles and how much courage do you show? She has an F rating. She has not a D, not a C. If my kids come home with C's, I'm embarrassed, and she has an F rating. And they're like, perfect. Why is that perfect? Why invest millions of dollars into a person who avowedly is not in favor of democratic policies? And it's not theoretical, guys. She already voted. It's her voting record. It's not her ideas, it's not her policies, it's not a tweet. She voted. It's an F rating. So, okay. So I guess she has an F rating. I don't get why the Democratic Party, and okay, I'll say it. I'll say a lot of things I'm not supposed to say because you're not supposed to reveal who's behind the curtain. Why are the unions back there? She voted against the unions several times. And she has an F rating from a group that has a lot of unions that are in. What the hell's going on? You think it's the membership? No way it's the membership. Every time they have a membership vote, this is not, obviously they don't do it in this case. In this case, they're like, no, we're not going to do a membership vote. But some of them have to do it nationally, right? So when they do it, who wins the membership votes? Bernie wins it every time, overwhelmingly. Anytime leadership votes, Biden, Pelosi, Christie, right? So what the hell is wrong with leadership? So I didn't know. I thought it was just corporations. So that's the spirit. Okay. Now, then it got personal. So look, you think the media attacks, that's pretty personal already. They smeared you, made you have to be someone you're not, etc. I got friends. Guy came up to me at a diner this morning, and are you all right? He's like, look, I love your show. I love what you fight for. I can't believe they made it seem like you were the opposite, right? So people still coming up to me on that. So that was a while back, but we got past it. Look, guys, and I'm not Rocky. We're all Rocky. We just keep getting back up. Why are you here? You guys are nuts. It's a Friday night. It's a Friday night, and we look at you guys. You know why you're crazy? Because you have hope. And you have every reason not to have hope. Every reason. We've lost our own party. We've lost our own party. And yet here you are, filled with hope. So, I rewatched a scene from like Rocky 3 or something on YouTube. And it's actually vicious. You shouldn't. Okay? It's like he's going to have brain damage, definitely. But the cool thing about it and why people liked it back in the day is he gets his ass kicked. And God damn it, he won't stay down. and he just climbs back up on the ropes, and that's what you guys are. You won't learn your lesson, right? And you just keep getting back up. And so I love you for it, and the whole country loves you for it. If we win this race, oh my God, their heads are going to explode. Every single thing in power is aligned against us. Every person in power is rooting against this room. But everyone not in power, which is 330 million people, right, which is the rest of us, is rooting for you guys. So what else happened that I didn't expect? Well, a couple of nights ago, they broke into my car. So I'm still a naive guy, so I'm in a rush. I'm always in a rush. I'm going to go do an interview at the studio, and I look at my car. I'm like, what the hell? That's a mess. What happened, right? And so now the door's not broken, the car, etc. I don't know how they opened it, so it's a mess in there. And I assumed that it was somebody local. I didn't even think about it, right? And I'm like, oh. And I remember thinking, I'm going to make a video about this because it's funny. Why is it funny? Because they had taken out stuff from my glove compartment, and they did not take my CDs, which were Kelly Clarkson, okay, and Shaggy. Okay. Those are my two CDs, and I don't blame you for laughing. And I thought the would-be robber, also laughed, like thanks but no thanks, and threw those CDs back. And then I had my jacket and my shirts in there, and they didn't take that either. And I thought, well, they are raggedy, right? So I get it, right? And so I had assumed they took the quarters. And so then, so I put stuff back in the car, I drive, I'm not going to report it to police. I mean, it is what it is, it's okay, right? And then the next day, I get in the car, and I open the middle compartment. They didn't take the quarters. And that's weird. They didn't take anything. Who the hell would break into a car who's in a desperate situation, you presume, and not take anything? Okay, that's weird. Then I get a call 5 minutes later from my wife. They broke into my car. Okay, so I'm like, babes, what did they take? She rifles around. That's weird, they didn't take anything. So then I call every neighbor. No one else's car got broken into. Okay? Now, why? I mean, that's brazen, right? Mm-hmm. So, why? We're all guessing together. What do I know? I don't know the guy who did it. I don't know who sent them. I don't know anything about it other than what I just told you. But that's a hell of a thing to do, right? So why bother doing it? One, maybe they want the information in your glove compartment. And what are they going to do with that information? I don't know. Maybe they're looking for a key to your house. Maybe they're just looking to send a message. But the thing that also doesn't make sense is you think, well, why do that? Because, well, what if I go out and talk about it, right? Then it looks bad on, whoever it might be, right? No. That's why I was hesitating telling this story even to you guys. The media's not going to believe me, and they know it. The media's on their side. So when I tell this story, it's going to be a double whammy. Not only do they break into your car, but the media then turns around and goes, oh yeah, sure. Conspiracy theorists, sure. Can you believe this guy? See, we told you. He's just like a, kind of a guy you should ignore. It's with these crazy, and watch, I guarantee you one of them calls it a stunt. I guarantee it, okay? So now, that's all good and fine, but you're not my wife, right? They're not my wife. My wife knows it's real, and now she's worried about the cars every day. So I didn't know that was going to happen. That's a hell of a thing. Jesus, man, what are these people doing? But, in a sense, you should be proud because they're scared of you, right? Look around. They think, shit, these guys might come to get us politically, right? And so you got them running, and they're doing crazy stuff. They did so. Now this again, you can't. I'm telling you. So there was a protest in front of our office today. We've been around 18 years. Nobody ever did a protest. 18 years, right? All of a sudden, I'm running for office, a protest shows up. Now, it doesn't mean the people that are in the protests are in on it at all. Like, very, 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 very likely they're not. Probably, if there's 25 people there, probably 23 of them have no idea. They probably got riled up into doing something that they care about and that they genuinely feel passionate about, and they think they're going to do the right thing, right? But a couple folks at top, they know. Who sent them? I don't know, right? Again, if you say that to me, they'll say, oh yeah, sure, and then they want you to talk about that issue, etc. And it's a lose-lose. Because if you talk about the issue, haha, that's what we wanted to do in the first place. Now, the part they don't tell you about is a bunch of employees there that have nothing to do with anything, that didn't make any of the decisions. They're scared. And I got a couple people that called me on the way in, that's part of why I was late, crying. So I didn't know it was going to be like that. So it's worse than you think. But let me then talk about the point, though. Because this is how jealously they want to guard their power. This is what they're willing to do, right? Oh, God, if we beat them. So this is our one shot. We're not going to get another shot. I'm being real. So there's parallel tracks here, right? There's the progressive candidates at the congressional level, and there's the presidential race. If Biden wins, gone. At least 4 years, maybe 8 years. We go back into the wilderness, and he goes to look to make deals with the Republicans. That's not an open question. As he said it 12 times, 20 times, 100 times, he can't wait to make a deal with the Republicans. On what? On what? My opponent, Christy, ran an ad. We talked about it earlier. She says, I'm looking forward to working with both parties on health care. On what? So the Republicans voted over 70 times to kill Obamacare. They have not once voted to increase access to health care. Not once! In what, over a decade? So what the hell are you going to work with them on? They're saying, the Democrats, the leadership in the party is saying, if you let us win this time, you're screwed for good. We're never going to vote on Medicare for all. AOC just outed them. She said, we're not going to vote. We're not going to vote. Forget winning the vote. We're not even going to vote. And then if I criticize Pelosi, Paul Krugman and the national media jumps down my throat. They're like, what do you mean? The beloved great Nancy Pelosi. She told you she doesn't want Medicare for all. She doesn't want Green New Deal, and she's not going to allow a vote. We're just supposed to bow our heads, take our beating, and go home. And I'm telling you right now, whether you're in this room, you're at home, wherever you are, you only have two options, and it's reality, and it's an uncomfortable reality. Your two options are surrender and fight back. And if you say, hey, I don't want to volunteer, whether it's for my campaign or Cisneros or Bowman or Morgan Harper or you name it, right, or Bernie or whoever it might be, right? If you don't get up and get in the fight, you sit on the couch and surrender. And you're going to lose, and we're all going to lose. If the establishment wins this time in the presidential level, it's devastating, and they are going to be overjoyed. The people in power, they're going to be overjoyed, right? And then at the congressional level, okay, we could take a lot of different races. I just happen to know mine, right? It happens to be the most stark, honestly. Well, no, Cisneros Cuellar is probably even starker, and Newman and Lipinski. But I'm in the top three, that's for sure, right? And so, if Christy was a seat, she's not going to do anything for 20, 30 years. She says she's never even going to vote on Medicare for all. She doesn't think it's going to happen in her lifetime. So that means this district is screwed for decade after decade. Once the incumbents are in, they dig in the Democratic Party and corporations. Corporate PACs actually don't kick in too much until you're an incumbent. 90% of the spending on corporate PACs are for incumbents. So, but once you're an incumbent, millions pour in. Congratulations, corruption worked. You are never to vote with the people. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And that's what happens. And this district is not going to get solar energy. You're not going to get wind energy. You're not going to get, you think you're going to get a fighter who's going to go in and say, give me the goddamn budget. I want to see where the money for the homeless went. You think you're going to get that? You're not going to get that. You're going to get somebody who's compliant with leadership, and you're going to get nothing for as far as the eye can see. Or you're going to get me. World of difference. So, look, you guys know me, that's why you're here, some of you, most of you. But, so I'll try to wrap up. I told you it was going to be long. Let's go back to thinking about March 3rd. So I read a really snobby, elitist article today from a publication I won't get into about how oh please, the rabble-rouser Cenk Uygur has no chance. Right? Now, gave no details, no facts, no reason why. Just, it is what it is. It's Washington. It's conventional wisdom. Okay. And he wrote something like, Christy's a brilliant pick for the district. Based on what? Based on what? Nothing. It doesn't matter. It's conventional wisdom. They don't need to hear you out. They did no reference to policy, no reference to volunteers, barely a reference to even money, and it shows the money is the same. So nothing. It doesn't matter. Preordained. Oh shit! If we win. Oh my God! That night, when everyone in Washington goes, what the fuck just happened? How the hell did Cenk win? No, we had a brilliant pick. She was going to do exactly like we told her. We invested millions of dollars into it. Man, our donors are going to be mad. Yes, we want their donors to be mad. Okay? And so I can't wait to read that article to you guys on election night. I can't wait to read that article. Because you have to understand why it's important. Because it isn't just about this district. Yes, this district will have a fight like you've never seen before. And instead of someone who's going to, stay here and do nothing, right? But it goes beyond that. Because what it does is it sends a message, oh shit, they figured something out. Progressives figured out how to win with people. Oh, that's the scariest thing in the world. To people in Washington, to people in power. Ryan Grimm wrote the book. We've got people. He's the Washington bureau chief of The Intercept. The title is a reference to something AOC said that I had mentioned earlier. They've got people. They've got money. We've got people. And near the end of the book, Ryan tells a story about Mitch McConnell. That he went out of his way to stop something that everybody else agreed to because there were protesters inside the Senate. And he wanted to send a message. Under no circumstances will we ever let the people win. So if there's protesters, then we're going to go out of our way to make sure that they lose. Because protesters are real citizens. Lobbyists are welcome anytime, okay? Real people are the unwashed masses. So if we win this race, then AOC is not a fluke. Then the Justice Democrats are not a fluke. And we win it in the middle of the election season, because it's a special election. Then you know what happens? We just ignited hope all across the country. That's their worst fear. Then all of a sudden everybody goes, yeah, you know what? I am going to volunteer for Marie Newman. I am going to volunteer for Mike Siegel. I am going to volunteer for Jamal Bowman. I am going to volunteer for all these people because it turns out we can win. So, guys, I know that's a lot to put on your shoulders, but hope is riding on you. And so if we get out there and we reach people, and we can, by the way, the math of this is simple. It's just a matter of, it's not an easy thing to do, but it's simple math. It's just a matter of reaching the voters in this district. So they're going to reach them with money. They have money, they're going to spend it in ads, right? We have some money, we're going to put some ads and mailers, we're going to do the standard stuff, right? But our advantage is, on top of that, we layer in people. So you get to reach people at the doors, you get to reach them at the malls, you folks at home, you get to reach them on the phone, you get to reach them through text. So we have an army of people reaching, telling them the good news. You actually can have a fighter on your side. You actually can get health care, universal health care. We actually can take the money you gave and give it to help homeless people instead of helping the real estate and the construction guys that gave all the money to the local politicians in LA. We actually can get help for the voters. It's our job to tell them that. If we reach the voters, we have an advantage they cannot match. If we win this race, hope is running like wildfire throughout the country. And by the way, I promise you this, and anybody who's ever watched the show and seen me start Wolfpack Just Democrats, do these things that every time everybody said, hey, that's impossible. My friends, family, everybody who knew me when we started the Young Turks in my living room in a one-bedroom apartment, impossible, impossible, impossible. Luckily, I'm in the impossible business, okay? So when I tell you, if I win, I'm going to Nebraska to help Kara Eastman. I'm going to New York to help Jamal Bowman. I'm going all across the country. I'm going to go to Massachusetts to help Brianna Wu and Alex Morse. I'm going to go to Colorado to help Andrew Romanoff. And then, oh wait, now we got Bernie, and we got AOC, and we got me, and we got everybody spreading the word. It works, it works. People work. If you bring people out, it works. Then they're screwed. That's how we take our country back. That's how we take our government back. And in a democracy, this government is ours. It's ours. That house is our house. So let's go take it back. I love you guys. Thank you.